Well, hello everybody. Welcome to week 4. Things are going on. This is getting excited. There was a lot of good conversations this week. Lots of people very focused, very busy with all their work. I really appreciate all of your efforts. Um, you know, it's I always learn so much offering this course year after year. I really appreciate all the feedback people have given me on the projects, on the grading, all that stuff. And so I'm looking forward to tonight's class, which will we don't have actually that much stuff going on. We're going to start out with Prime Minister's questions, as we do. Happy to answer. Hey, guys. Happy to answer any questions that you have about Project 1, Project 2, Project 3, the cones, all the stuff that's going on right now. We're happy to spend some time talking about that. And then we'll spend the rest of our time doing some more pair programming. And I'm really feeling good about last week's experience. I appreciate everybody who's come back for more. I think it'll be good to just do it again and see what it's like the second time. We'll have more time to do it this week, so I'm not going to go through the whole introduction like I did last week, which might mean either we have more time or maybe we can go home a little bit earlier. Nothing wrong with that. And then, of course, we'll talk about Project 4 also. So some good stuff here. So let's start off with Prime Minister's questions. Max asked a question in chat. He had a question about the Java.io library. And he was saying that when he was looking around for documentation, he found a lot of stuff about the Java.nio library and asked what that's all about. So NIO stands for new IO. Well, this was like new as of like 2005. So it's not so new anymore. But basically, the Java IO libraries that you all learned about in lecture and got to start working with in Project 2, those were like the initial libraries for doing IO, and they work really well for sort of standard IO things. They have good abstractions for writing to files and reading writing from sockets, and they have the Streams API and the Reader Writers API for dealing with bytes, byte data, or dealing with text data. But after a while, Java went through a phase where it wanted to do more high performance stuff. It wanted to do sort of like larger applications that handle lots of data and want to take advantage of some of the more advanced I/O features of operating systems, of chipsets, of all this kind of stuff. And so they introduced, well, there was that. And then also there were some rough edges of the Java I/O API that people sort of discovered after a while. They wanted to sand down, and so they introduced this NIO, this new API, to provide some easier to use APIs, some more convenient APIs, but then probably more but also more advanced stuff around using in-memory byte buffers and things where the JVM can really optimize it. It's beyond what we do in this class, although there's some things in IO that would probably be a handful of APIs that would be useful. It's not something that I chose to introduce because you can get done really what you need to do for this course just using the regular Java.io APIs. But I encourage you to read up on it, and hey, if you're maybe in one of your other classes or something, if you're doing something that's very IO intensive and you want to learn more about how to ironically work at the lower level, even though it's Java, which is pretty high level, you want to take advantage of some of those lower level libraries, and IO is good for that. Thanks, guys. What other questions do people have about the work so far in the course or any of the work coming up? Yeah. Sorry, are the tests cumulative? Test for the projects. I mean, so the project test cases. Yes. No. Yeah. So you can expect. Okay, so I'll put it this way. Project 2 introduces some new functionality, but a lot of the functionality is still the same from Project 1. And so then you can expect in Project 2 many of the test cases to still see them again. So yes, it behooves you to fix things or to improve them. And similarly for project 3. Now it won't be every test case that goes forward, but certainly the fundamental things that were evaluated in project 1 in terms of parse the command line, your README, your documentation, turn on test coverage. You'll see many of those things again in project 2 and in project 3 and project 4. So yeah. So in the about so it's in the warnings. Yeah. So yeah, let me speak. I'll get to that question specifically shortly. Let me speak generally though about the grading. So Alex took the course over the summer, and it was interesting when I interviewed him for the grader position, and then again when we were talking about grading project 1. He's like, yeah, one of the things that I wish I had gotten from the grader is more detailed feedback on the first project. Because I think he got a couple of into him, and then the grader was like, okay, well, you really should have done it that way. He's like, well, you told me that in week 1, I would have done it in week 1. So that really motivated him to provide, I think, some of the most detailed feedback that I've ever seen from a grader. On the one hand, I hope you appreciate it. On the other hand, it's like, oh wow, there are some things that might seem a little nitpicky, but it's things that he wanted to make sure that you understood the game. So yeah. Right. There is some subjectivity when it comes to the error messages, right? Well, and did you say that? Did you actually lose points for things, or just sort of a no? Because I know that some for some things too generic, but then there was a warning where it's like, oh, this one's too specific. Yeah. What I encourage you to do is follow up with Alex. And if you want to do it in a public channel so everybody can see, I'm not going to mind. You're just sort of saying, hey, I provided this input and you said it was too generic. I provided this output and you said it was too generic. I provided this output, so you said it's too specific. Come on, Goldilocks, make up your mind, right? But yes, and so that I don't know exactly what it was. But by necessity, there's some objectivity because I didn't specify exactly what the error should be. So but do reach out to make sure that you're clear for project 2 because you might see that test case again in project 2. Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah, and so just so people can hear. So yeah, I mean, you're calling out that. I think yeah, there were some pieces of feedback where yeah, it was very clear. It's like, oh look, got an exception. No point exception. Oh, okay, right. But yes, with the error messages, which admittedly is a big part of the functionality for 1, right? One of the things that Alex felt was important, and I appreciate from providing that is sort of a very specific, feedback. Okay, this is too general, and I think, from what I saw, it tended to be, there were some projects that said like, error in the command line, okay, when it was clear that there was an argument missing or that the date was not parsed correctly. So I mean, for me, that seemed justifiable. Now, that being said, if there are things that you'd like some more clarity on, or if you really felt that it was incorrect, and actually there were a couple people who were, Alex was like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Bring it up with him, and actually bring it up with him, and then if there's some concern, then you can bring it to me. You can bring it to me also. Yeah. after the fact. Um, yes, I agree it's a challenge. And and I thought about that because I agree. The detail of the feedback was among the most detailed that I've seen. And I asked myself, was this fair? But then when I really looked at how he applied it, he was very consistent across all the students. I'd be really worried if it was like, oh, look, one person got a lot of points taken off for for what seemed like something that was very minorly different than someone who didn't lose points, but no, it was consistent. So that I feel was appropriate. That being said, now that you have the feedback, you got a couple things you can do with it. Now, I mean, if you'd like to fix it and resubmit, I'm happy to consider that again. Also, knowing that the test cases will appear again, I hope you've addressed that, and so then yep, for people that lost a little points because things were vague, that you clarified that, and then also it's again I encourage you to especially now that you've gotten the feedback, I am Alex or I am me. It's like hey, this is this is what I had last time. I've changed it to this. Does that meet the criteria? Because yeah, when it comes to the quality of the error messages, while I dropped some hints in the assignment about what makes user friendly and everything like that, I purposely don't have it be prescriptive. I don't give you test cases ahead of time, and I don't call it out and say if your data is malformed, please issue this error. And for the details of the first assignment, you don't get it, you have it now. And so again, if you want to resubmit for a regrade, now that you've seen that, you're welcome to do so. If you want to, and then please do address it for project 2 going forward. Yep. I'm sorry. Yep. Yeah. Well, and the requirements that were either emerging or not immediately clear. Okay, that's good to know. And I guess one way to look at it is that's all part of the lesson, is that integrating feedback. But yes, I mean, I acknowledge, and I've seen lots of evidence of yep, people working hard and people responding to the feedback that they get. So I do appreciate that. And history shows that, and this is why I have the project 1, because as many pointed out, like, this function is really limited. This is dumb. Why are we doing it? Well, that's why you're doing it, right? So that you can get the experience of first of all getting something to work, and then integrating the feedback. I think you'll find that in subsequent projects you're able to focus on more interesting things because you've because you've gotten the command line parsing out of the way, and that you're just more confident. Yep. Let's see here. Another question that came in via chat. At any point in or after the course, can you share a clean implementation of the projects? It would be valuable to see a professional Java program's implementation. Obviously not before we work on them. I'm not inclined to do that. I can see the value in that. It's not something that I necessarily want to get out. But let me think on that. Like, what would? Because I was thinking about this because it would be nice to. I guess what provide like in the examples. There are some. There are some command line parsing examples that aren't exact. Well, some of them come very close. So if you go look at the source code for like the submit program, that command line parsing is pretty close to projects. I'm trying to think if there are other examples. I'm gonna go look for main methods in the example. So I mean, there are some things, but I reuse the projects, and so I don't necessarily want like the perfect solution out there existing. Although, because I mean that'd be like cheating off me, as opposed to cheating off another student. That being said, I would like to have some way of, and we talked about this I think last week or the week before. It'd be nice to have some sort of way to allow you to explore a more completely solved problem. Let me think on that. So you can see, some like either code that is, let's just say, professional Java is maybe more complete, or work on by someone with more experience, and work through that. Let me think about that. Yep, and yeah, and if anybody wants some feedback, wants to set aside some time to meet with me to sort of walk through code or things like that, I'm happy to do so. How was project two? How did it compare to project one, in terms of were there interesting learnings? I got a thumbs up there in terms of like, yeah, I did, it was okay. Okay. Yep, yeah, command line parsing and everything. Yep, it's supposed to. Oh, okay, like using the temperature for the test. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Good, good. I'm glad you took advantage of that. Yeah, it does make things a lot easier. Yeah. Yeah. Cool, good. Yeah, write in files. It's something you may or may not have much experience with. And it's, yeah, it makes it. And this is, I think, what you'll find is like, project over project starts feeling more like a real program. They start producing that stuff. Cool. Another question came in: when running the Jacoco and it shows its coverage, what does it do, and how do you improve coverage? Okay, I'll answer the what does it do. So Java source code is compiled into bytecode, and bytecode is run in the Java virtual machine. And the nice thing about the bytecode is that it is platform independent. There is one Java bytecode format. And so what Jacoco does is it instruments the bytecode. It takes the bytecode and adds more bytecode to it to keep track of what lines have been executed. And so then when you run your tests with Jacoco, it basically runs your code it executes instrumented bytecode, which then keeps track of all of the lines that have been executed, and then writes that out to some file, and then from that generates a report. So that's how it does it. Now, what do you do to improve code coverage? Well, you need to write tests that execute the logic that isn't executed otherwise. Now, the reality is that sometimes the reports, depending on, the reports don't get it right 1,000% of the time in terms of is every line covered. And that's why the goal is 75% code coverage, and not 100% code coverage, because not every branch can't necessarily be covered. It would probably be overkill to try to make everybody do that. So the way that you improve coverage is that you look at the lines of code that aren't covered and say, well, can I write a test for that? And if you can't write a test for it, then maybe that line of code doesn't need to be there. Especially in something like command line parsing, maybe there's a lot of conditionals, and if you can't necessarily get to a certain conditional, it means the code isn't worth keeping and delete it, and poof, it's code you don't need to cover. So that increases your code coverage. Michael, does that answer your question? Awesome. Cool. How are folks doing on the Coens? Going along? They're still out there. They're doing a couple of weeks. I hope that's giving you a good tour of the language and helping you learn things in the small, and then so that you can apply them in the projects. Yeah, there are a lot of them. There's a lot to the language, and actually most of those things you might end up encountering over the course, and so then this is why it's important to be able to get through them in the first half of the course, so that you're familiar with these concepts in the second half of the course. Okay, let's see here. Okay, and then As you know, people are finishing up their project twos, get project three coming, which I hope is even more straightforward than project two. It's more formatting. We're getting more comfortable with the concept of like these airline dumpers and evolving your command line parsing implementation. And of course, writing unit tests and integration tests. I have to admit, from what I saw of the project one, this cohort has some of the best code coverage. Usually, there are a bunch of students that aren't able to get to the 75%, and so that tells me that you're really putting the effort into writing tests. Hopefully, the test-driven development that we're doing here in class is helping you leverage that technique, not just to do TDD, but actually write or at least write tests for your code. Good stuff. Nice. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions about what you've seen so far? What's coming up? What else can I tell you? Well, so tonight we've got some more pair programming on the menu, and I had put out a poll on Slack to ask if you all would like to do some more of that operating theater programming. So for anybody who wasn't here last time, we started out after I talked about pair programming. We did this exercise where I asked for volunteers to pair program with me to show everybody what it was like. I think the results of the poll were like 5 people who said, sure, that seems like a neat idea. 10 people said, I don't care either way. No one said no. But I guess I'll just poll people here. So please indicate, like maybe with a react with a thumbs up or something if you're on Zoom, or just sort of, give me a nod. Here, do you want to do another operating theater, or would you rather just like directly go into pairing? So I guess thumbs up if you want an operating theater. Kind of. Okay, kind of. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. People. Yeah, we got some people. Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple people. Yeah. Okay. Let's do. I think I've got a pretty quick one. So actually before we dive in, let's just sort of get ourselves oriented again with the pair programming. So I created a. Oops. I created a GitHub repository last time that we all contributed to, and so everybody who's going to be participating in some form of pairing tonight, please make sure that you have a checkout of that repository. Also, please make sure that you are a collaborator on that repository. And I guess the way to find that out is, let's see here. Is if you can do something like take the README here in GitHub and click on Edit, and if it lets you edit, then you probably have collaborator access. If you don't, just send me your GitHub ID, which is like that thing right there in the URL, and then I will add you as a collaborator. So there are, and so last week we got this big introduction to pair programming. I'm just going to go over a couple of the, and I'll post this document too, so anybody can read along if you want there. We talked about how in pair programming there are traditionally 2 roles. There's the driver and the navigator. And so one person is focusing on writing the code, right? The very tactical work of implementing what the pair is talking about. That's the driver, or like the hands. That's their role. And then the other role is the navigator, who is thinking more strategically. They're like the brains. Now, the driver doesn't think anything, but everybody's thinking. But the navigator is looking more holistically, is looking in a broader context to think about, okay, what the next move is going to be, or hey, where do we want to be in 5 minutes? What people found to be very effective is to use the Pomodoro technique to work in a role for like a few minutes and get a little bit done, and then do a quick reflection, and then move on to something else. Sorry, and then move on to the other role. And this helps keep people focused, actually, because they they don't get tired by doing one thing. It helps you, stay engaged, and it makes sure that each person has an opportunity to be both the driver and the navigator. And another thing that we talked about is a couple of the patterns that people have established for pair programming. So there's strong style, where one person is usually more experienced than the other. So I liken this to driver's ed as opposed to going on a road trip. And then there's also ping pong pairing, which is great for test run development, where one person writes a test, the other person gets to work, they both work together to refactor, and the person who just made it work writes the next test, and sort of ping pong back and forth. And so as we pair tonight, we'll be thinking about these patterns and be thinking about the driver navigator role. And then we talked about remote pair programming. I think what most people did was since we're all sharing a GitHub repository, as the driver is done, they will commit the code and push it to GitHub, and then the navigator who becomes the next driver will pull it down. You can also use Code with Me in IntelliJ, and we had some people do that and had some interesting experiences with it. So last time we worked in this operating theater, and so this is again like think oldie timey medicine, where you literally have a surgeon who is operating on someone, and then they're surrounded by stadium seating with all of these medical students looking down and observing it. That's how we introduced it here, and we'll do another one of these exercises again. We did the FizzBuzz kata last time, but I've got a new kata this time called Roman numerals that we'll talk about shortly. Actually, we'll just talk about it right now, because I don't think there's anything. Well, what we'll do is we'll do some 7-minute Pomodoros again. So if you would like to pair with me in the operating theater, let me. I created a new. Sorry, I'm way ahead of myself. Go to your clone of the katas, and pull down the latest changes. I added a whole bunch of stuff. I got things passing again, and I added a whole bunch of stuff, including this Roman numerals project. And so here, just like last time, there is an opportunity for up to 6 students to sign up to volunteer. So please do that by editing this file and then committing it to GitHub. I recommend that you sort of stagger yourselves to not produce Git conflicts. But remember, sharing the Git repository is all part of the experience for this course. And so figure out how to resolve conflicts. So please take some time to sign up to pair, and people, of course, in the classroom are welcome to pair too, as are people online. And while you're doing that, we will introduce the kata for tonight. This is the one that we're going to use for the operating theater. The one that you all be doing is a little bit more interesting than this one. So Roman numerals. Hope everybody's familiar with what Roman numerals are. Basically, what we're going to do is write a function that converts they call it normal numbers, that's like Arabic numbers, right? To Roman numerals. And so, for instance, you give it a 1 and it returns an I. You give it a 10, an X, a 7, a VII. So this is a good way to write a non-trivial algorithm. This is more complex than FizzBuzz was. I think it's an interesting example of test-driven development, and how you can approach a problem like this with TDD. And so then, boy, we can we can go up to thousands if we want, and we won't try to do CSV files and things like that. But the whole idea is, hey, let's spend 45 minutes and go through some Pomodoros to implement this kata. Oh, and sorry, let me paste this kata in also for everybody there. Our folks in the classroom on the Zoom can get the links. That one actually isn't. If you go to the one for tonight, which is Diamond, is the one that you'll all be doing, and just change it to capital R, Roman, capital N, numerals, plural. You'll get there too. Yeah. Nice. Awesome. We've got a couple of volunteers. Devin so far. So while we're waiting for more folks to sign up, let's turn our attention to the IntelliJ project. So pull down your Git your changes. Well, pull down the latest changes from Git, and then you'll need to reload your refresh your Maven project. If the little M icon doesn't pop up for you, open up the Maven tag, and then just click refresh. I'll just give everybody a moment or two to do that, actually, even if you're not participating in the operating theater exercise. I want to make sure everybody has the new stuff and has their IntelliJ project working. So you should see a Roman numerals project here, and then also a Diamond directory with a whole bunch of rooms where you'll all be working in the breakout rooms tonight. But we'll start off with the Roman numerals. So far, we just have, oh, sorry, a question here. Should we be making a clone of the repo or making a fork of it? Please make a clone, and that'll be the easiest way for you to contribute back to it. So yeah, we're all sharing a repository, which actually worked out okay last week, right? Actually, and that reminds me, as we gathered all this really great feedback last week about our experiences pair programming, and I encourage you to read over this again to inform your pairing from this week. Maybe there's some ideas here that you want to leverage, something that you that maybe didn't work so well last week. You had an idea for this week. Go ahead and try it out. So let's see here. Okay. Devin and David. Thanks. Okay, well, let's see here. Before I move on, I just do want to check for understanding and check for progress. Has anyone not been able to clone the repository yet? Anybody having problems updating their IntelliJ project? Does everybody have all of the newer stuff, like the Roman numerals and the diamond? Yeah, a git pull from a clone that you made last week is great. That should get all the stuff that I added over the weekend. Yeah. So just make sure that you've got the diamond and that you've refreshed your Maven projects. You've synced everything up so that you've got the Diamond Katas, which will be the Diamond Katas projects, which will be what you're all doing tonight. Okay. Well, let's start off in the theater. So, Devin, thanks for signing up. You want to be the driver?
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I believe you can share your screen. So yeah, how about you go ahead and we can start this. I'm going to get the timer going.
All right. Can you
Awesome.
see? Can you see
Yeah, it
this?
looks really good.
Okay, great.
Okay, so let's see here. How's it going tonight?
Pretty good.
Yeah, let's do 7 minutes.
Sounds good.
Yeah, because we're only too soon so far. Okay. Oh, that Roman numerals is underlined. Is there a problem?
To the instantiation of utility class.
Oh, it's just some warning, right? Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. Okay. Well, so let's see here. How do you think we should approach this?
Um, Man, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm actually, can everybody see that? Oh, it's really, yeah. Thanks for adjusting the lights. Um, well, let's see here. Let's just write our first test. I think really we just want a function, right, that takes a number and returns a string, which is a Roman numeral. So let's just write write our first test for that. So you can just
Okay.
go ahead and delete that one that exists right now. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Let's write a new test.
Oops.
Okay. That was
Oops.
funny looking at. What was that? Oh no, it's just the way it looks, I guess. Okay.
I think it's italic.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah. So let me go. Yeah. Void method, and I don't know. Roman numeral number one is I. I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
So yeah. Now let's implement that.
so we're just checking if sorry, I'm actually unfamiliar with the rest of the class and not look
Oh,
at it.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Right
So
now, the only thing that comes out of the box is like a main method, and we're probably going to want to add just a static method to get the Roman numeral for a number.
sure. So we're gonna have to capture the arguments. Maybe we'll just give it. Are we gonna give it just one string?
Um, well, let's see. We're going to be passing in a number.
Or we're
So
passing in a no. Oh, that's right. We're converting it to a Roman
right,
numeral.
yeah, it's from the number to the
I think it was the other way around for some reason.
yeah, and it looks like it put both your squiggly braces on one line. So you go back up to 9, and then move the cursor in
Oh,
between the two.
you're right.
Yeah, yeah,
I see
nice,
it.
cool, yeah. So, and I think we can just do this straight up in one. Yeah, let's not do it. Let's declare a string variable.
Okay.
So call it, I don't know, numeral or something.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. Yeah, and then equals, and then this is where we'll call we need to call the method that we have to write. So let's put that in the main class. We can say just, Roman numerals dot, because, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, go put it over there. Yep, let's create a new method here.
Okay, I can get rid of this probably.
Yeah.
Not really error
Well,
checking.
actually, how
Oh,
about you leave that because we're not going to use the main method. We're just going to have, because this is a unit test, right? It'll just test a method, not necessarily the main method.
oh,
So
true. Okay.
yeah, how about let's create a new method. What we'll want it to return a string.
Okay. Wow, my typing is insane right now.
Well, yeah, it's almost like a whole bunch of people are watching you type or something.
My cat is also really hungry and on the other side of the door right now.
Oh
So
man, okay, yeah. Well, hungry cat. Well, so let's see here. We got another 3 minutes left. So
no worries. Uh, so we're this function, we're just passing in the number to it.
yeah,
Okay. I don't know what you wanted to call it.
yep, that's a great name. Roman numerals a great name. Yeah, and so passing in the number. Yep.
Or whatever number.
Yeah, number's good.
Sure.
Now let's see here. It's underlined in red. What is it telling you? So Roman numerals underlined in red.
Oh, because it's not doing anything. We want it to return a string?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'll probably. Yeah, there it goes. It's much happier now. Okay. Well, how about for right now we just return null or the empty string or something like that, just so it'll compile.
Sure.
Cool. Nice. Now, yeah, let's look back to the test. And here, yeah, we can. Yeah, How about instead of that empty string, we just say we can call the method.
Sure.
Okay. So
Yeah, it's called
yeah.
open.
Well, we've got to let's see here.
Oh,
It's a
that's
static
the
method of
same.
a class, so you need to have the class name dot the name of the method. So yeah, Roman numerals dot. Yeah, and then
It's not showing up.
oh, who doesn't find it?
That's probably
Oh, we
because
didn't
it's
make
not
it static.
static.
That's right. Nice.
And that one's called Roman numeral.
Yeah, yeah. Let's just do one. Yeah, that's what
Right.
this is. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
And now let's store that into a variable.
Mhm.
Cool. Yeah, now let's make an assert statement. So yeah, do you remember? Well, yeah, we'll use the assert that. Yeah, you got it. You got it. So yeah. And it's
Uh,
always the actuals first. So you want to say assert that result,
oh, right.
right? Yeah, that's the way it goes. Yeah, result,
This
comma, and then equal
equals.
to. Yeah,
Okay.
nice.
And equal to doing the.
Yeah, but those
Okay,
are
but
real.
I
Like we
just need
need
to
to.
resolve those.
Oh, you got to import them. Nice. Okay.
This one, Hamk, the
Yeah, either of
formatters.
those. Either of those will work. Sweet. Yeah, let's run the test. See how it goes. Okay, failed, just like we
Yep.
expected.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's see here. I want to do the easy thing and make it pass.
Sure.
Ever return I. Nice. Let's yeah, run this again. Oh, I think that was
Oop.
running the ran the main program. We need
Yeah,
to
I
go back
just
to the
realized that. I
test.
need to go back to
Run
this.
the test.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice. Okay. Excellent. Well, hey, and good timing. The timer just went, so I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock, and we can have a brief uh, reflection on what I did. So, what was that like?
For some reason, yeah, I was kind of blanking out on a lot of things that I knew right there. So I think it was I'm used to just kind of getting in there and typing, so kind of more waiting for your thoughts was
Hmm.
maybe a little difficult for me.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot more tight talking, isn't it? And that's the
Yeah.
thing that I've noticed is that yeah, usually yeah, sure, there's like the internal dialogue in my head, but then when I actually have to say the words and explain things to people, it's just a very different experience.
Hmm.
Cool, excellent. Hey, how about you check this in? And but other folks, what were some of your observations about Devin and mine's pairing? It's hard to go first. Yeah, yeah, totally. No, I really appreciate your courage, Devin. That's yeah, first of the evening. Nice. What do you think about getting started? Right, that's sort of the thing that we're doing, or we're just bootstrapping this time. What are some of your observations there? And you're going to be starting a new kata. Like, what are some things that uh, you might want to apply or not apply when you start your katas? Okay, yeah, you're thinking some of the more challenging test cases. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, thinking like a navigator. Nice. Oh, and there's some chat there. Seems easy to overthink the first tests. Yes. Actually, that's a really good point. It's like, we're starting is always the hardest part because you're thinking about like all the things. And, I mean, it's okay. I mean, the test-driven development police aren't going to like arrest you if you like, brainstorm a whole bunch of test cases, just understand the problem. Actually, that's what we did with the student, right? when we were approaching the student project, we brainstormed a whole bunch of test cases, and nothing nothing wrong with that. Actually helps you understand the problem pretty well, especially when the problem is complex and unknown. So nice.
I did push up those changes, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Devin. I'll pull them down right now. Okay, and let's see here. I know I'm not sharing my screen. Let's see here. Who is next? David. Oh, nice. We'll do Dave Club. We don't talk about Dave Club. You want to be a driver too. So yeah, feel free to share your screen and pull down those changes from Devin. Well, do you want to come sit next to me, or okay? Yeah, you can bring your laptop up. Okay, you're not on the Zoom call though. And you wanted to drive though. You want to get on the Zoom? Is that going to work?
I can try navigating too.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, let's do that then. I will share my screen. Do you want to have a seat? Oh, we don't have like. Do you want to go sit down there? Or
Sure.
actually, can I? We'll lose the projection. Well, yeah, I don't know.
I'll stand up.
Okay.
I'm in a very ready position.
There you go. You can like strangle me more. Yeah. There you go. Cool. Okay. So sorry. So where were we?
I'm a very physical navigator.
Get out of the way. Yeah. Grab the wheels. Are driving? Okay. Nice. Okay. So then, actually, I'll start that once we get the code up. So let's see here. Do you mind if we do the split screen so we can see both the test and the?
No, that sounds great.
Okay. Roman numerals, and let's go with that, and then let's just go with that, and then we'll also we'll get the test up, and splits, right. Nice. Okay, so then I'll start the timer here. So we've got 7 minutes. Okay, navigator, where do you want to go next?
I think maybe we could try making a loop that will update the target sum as we append numerals to meet the target number.
Okay, cool. We're some tests first. So like, what's the next one that you want to be able to demonstrate?
Test. So we're writing a test first. So maybe we could test. We want to test a result, like a specific number.
Yeah.
Or...
So like, what would be a good one? Like 4?
Yeah, 4 sounds
okay.
good.
Okay. Four is ID. Okay, that's a fun one. So let's see here. Oh, way. And so then here, I'm just going to do assert that Roman numeral of 4 equal to ID. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, so where do we go from here?
So maybe we could just have a test like if number plus 1 is divisible by 1 of the numeral by, I guess, by 5.
By 5. Okay.
Then we will return ID.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, I didn't see that fail. Oh, well. Ooh, a little while. I should have built it before. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Okay. Oh.
So expected ID, but was high.
So let's see here. Did I get this wrong?
So 4 plus 1 mod. Maybe it's modding the 1 instead of the number plus 1.
Oh, I could maybe.
Try putting parentheses in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're probably right.
Leave the parentheses.
Order, yeah. Oh, nice. Good deal. Okay, nice. So we got
The
that
pitfall
working.
of all computer science.
Right, I know. Sweet. Okay. What's next?
I mean, we could just. I feel like the simplest like brute force thing would just be to do a series of ifs or a switch statement to identify all instances.
Okay.
So if it's modded by 5, then because like doesn't like if you have 50, it becomes like XC.
Right. Okay. Yeah, there's another one. So yeah, for 50 is yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's play this. All right, it's gonna fail. And so then, oh, but it was I. Oh, that's true because it's not. Okay. Yeah. So then, what's the logic we have there?
Does 45, is that DC? Is that, or is it, how much, like, for how,
Well, I don't remember what the Roman rule for 45 is.
or is it 4x?
I don't know. Does anybody? Let's go find out. Oh, there was something in the. There was something here that talked about. Oh, there wasn't one. Here we go. This useful website. Ooh. What's 45? How about Google? Another useful website. Roman numeral. I bet someone else looked it up. Thank you, someone else. XLV. Yeah, right. I mean, what? Super Bowls, right? Yeah. Roman numeral for 45. XLV. Nice.
So what's,
That's it.
oh, okay. So it just depends, it makes 40, and then it's the 5 on there.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that is interesting. Okay.
So I think we should just do multiple conditionals for. So then 49 would be XLIX.
Let's go ask people again. For 49, yes.
Okay.
XLIX. So
Yeah, so I think we should just make these specific conditions for the different scenarios where we have these.
okay.
So to start off, we'll just put in these ifs for like if number +1 mod 5. Or you could even say if number +1 equals 5.
Well, that's the same thing as number equals 4, right?
Well, number +1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing as number equals 4, but we'll also do the same thing for 9, 40, 90, because the v and the x, they're both modified the same way to equal 9 and 4. So like
Okay.
they both get i's before it. And then for 50 and 100, they both get modded the same way to equal 40 and 90. They both get the x before it.
Okay. I think I'm seeing that. Okay, so like, what should I type?
So we could just have a series of conditionals. So like if number +1 equals 5 or 10. Wait. If number +1 equals 5, then return IV. If number +1 equals 10, return IX.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, let's give it to work. So like number. Okay, so you want like change this one to be equals 5. This.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll work. I think. Well, I mean, sure, yeah, certainly that'll work. But so yeah, so let's go back and this one still worked, but the other one's yeah. This is good that we're exploring the problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's thanks for like asking, for checking out some of these bigger ones. That's
Yeah. It's definitely not the way I would expect it to like form.
I know, right? Cool. I'm gonna try running all of them here, and then let's. So that was our time. So
I
yeah,
feel like an
interesting.
ownership now of it. Oh, I want to see this through.
Well, you might have another chance to do some more stuff here. Let's see how. So let's reflect on it. So like, what was it like? So, like, what was I think you did a great job of just like, verbalizing what it is that you're thinking and what you wanted me to do.
Thanks.
But what is? Oops, sorry, the test. There it is. But yeah, what did you? Okay, it's something's really not working yet.
I think it was nice for the planning stage to be able to vocalize it, to like see like, oh, what your thoughts are on it, and just like make sure we're on the same stage. Like maybe you knew something that I didn't know with the.
Yeah, well, and actually, I liked going through and sort of like exploring what various things ought to be. Now I'm kind of wondering, and actually, whoever I pair with next, I was wondering if we could just go through and just, put together a bunch of test cases and see where I'll take the different paths.
Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. How about others? Any other observations about what's going on here? Back to Zoom. Oh, awesome. Thanks. That was good.
Yeah,
We'll keep going. Okay, so I will commit this. Let's see here. More push rejected. Oh yeah, I probably need to merge. Yeah, I always want to merge and changes. So that means that yeah, some more people signed up. Super awesome. Great. Christian, you're on Zoom. See here, you want to drive? Oops.
Sure, can you hear me?
You sound great.
Cool. Okay, let me share my screen.
Okay. Yeah, so can you get the code up? Yeah, the Roman numerals. Yeah, you got it. And also the Roman numerals test. Yep. Yes.
And then where's the test one?
Yep, open the test class also. Great. Okay, let's I'll start the timer here. Okay. Well, so this was interesting. We're really exploring some edge cases here with like 50 and 49 and things like that. I'm I'm uh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the algorithm in general. So like before we get to some of those more advanced ones, maybe we should start with some simpler ones. What do you think about just like writing tests for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just looking at those?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. You get some extra parentheses, and then you need another one after the Roman numeral, after 5, I guess, to close that. Get back a little further to 5 there. Yep. Good. That looks good.
Oh yeah, cool. And then I have an extra one.
Cool. Yeah, let's run this and we should just fail. Watch it fail. Okay. So I'm thinking about the implementation, and like, is it too naive to just have like a case statement or just like a if or something? It just says, hey, if it's 1, return I, 2, return II. Because like, what's the algorithm here?
I feel like dividing and getting the remainder, you could do something with that.
Yeah, it does seem like that, right? Because it's like, because 8 is going to be V and then III, which is like Roman numeral of 5 and then Roman numeral of 3. And like, what gets me is 4, right? Because 4 is then 1 less than 5. And maybe that's the trick.
Because if you divide 4 by 5, do you get 0 in this case?
You do. So let's see here. Yeah, how about well, let's just do like, if number equals 5, then return V. Nice. Let's run the test again, and you can run the test. Oh, so I think you can. Oh, it's a little different from me. Oh, there it is. Uh, yeah, I think you can rerun it. Okay, yeah, you're doing it. Cool. Okay, so that one worked. So then, do we need similar things for 2 and 3? So I think those seem like pretty fundamental cases.
Yeah. So we're just gonna do like an if for the first 5 things.
Maybe. Yeah, and then, unless then there's some sort of like, yeah. So I think maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 have to just be straight old ifs, right? Yeah. Actually, we could even use a case statement. Would that be easier? I don't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is probably this will be the fastest. Yeah, I like that. So yeah. I guess we're refactoring. We're not exactly doing red refactoring. This is kind of messy, but that's okay. I don't have a good understanding of this problem. This was way easier. Yeah, there you go. Nice.
You don't need break in this version of Java, right?
I'm sorry, what?
You don't need to use a break after the case in this version of Java, right?
Correct. I mean, return is just like brace. Yeah, so you don't need to use break because you have a return.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Nice. Okay, and then let's just say let's have a default. And then just have a return empty string or something. Yeah, or return null. It's got to return some value. Yeah, that's cool. And then I think we can just get rid of all that stuff as dead code anyway.
Should I remove this one?
Well, and you return the 1. Or you delete all that. Sorry, that's unreachable code. Yeah, right there. Yep. Cool. Yeah, so I mean, we kind of just rewrote the whole thing, but think this is making a little more sense to me now. Okay, yeah, let's try running the. We didn't write tests for 1 and 2, but let's just run what we've got and see if that, see how that works. Okay, got 5, get 4 going. Oh. Okay, this is getting better. This is coming along. Okay, awesome. That's the end of our time. So that was a quick 7 minutes. What did you think? You're coming in after a couple other people have paired. What was that experience like for you?
Pretty good. Yeah, I guess we got some test cases done. But I feel like focusing more on the algorithm would be key to passing more tests, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. It's like we're starting to discover the algorithm. So maybe on the next round we can maybe explore that a little bit more, because I think 6 will be an interesting one, depending on how we want to implement it. Awesome. Nice. Any other observations you'd like to share?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I guess I was thinking more about how we could split apart the numbers. So I think it'd be good to check like how large it is first. So if it's like 10 or 100 or 1,000, then you're
Right.
gonna be dividing up differently.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, cool. Excellent. Thanks. Anything that people from the from the theater would like to share? Anything that you're observing, either about the problem that we're trying to solve, or how we're going about solving it? Christian, please be sure to commit your code.
Should I push it?
Please do.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Daniel, you're up next. Let's see here. Would you like to be a driver or a navigator? Tough choice. Oh. No, I'll be a driver. Be a driver? Okay, sounds good. Let's see here. Do you want to share your? Are you on the Zoom? Oh. Okay. Yeah, I was just. Okay, you can do that too. Sure. Okay, I will share my screen. 7 minutes. Oh, actually, let's make sure that I've got this code. Yeah, okay. Well, let's see here. We made some kind of big changes, but luckily we had all of our tests. So we've got this much. So where do you want to go next?
I was thinking of making some sort of parser for the number.
Want to do 6 next? Like, how would 6 work? This one. Yeah, like a test for 6. So 6 is going to be BI. Right? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the switch case, that switch is, I think we can grow that to take a case of 1 through 9. And that's fine.
Okay.
And then we can apply that to every single digit in a number. So say we have a 4-digit number, then we have the thousands place, hundreds place, tens place, and ones place.
Oh,
And
interesting.
Each place has the switch case like this.
Yeah.
And we take care of the outlier edge cases because we just check. So say at a 400 number, we don't care that it says 400. We just know that it's a number 4 and it's in the hundreds place.
Okay.
So then,
Yeah.
it has to be or whatever it is.
We're okay, right? So that's just like the Roman numeral 4. Yeah. 400. Okay, I like that. Okay. Okay, but boy, okay, how are we gonna get there? Like, what's a simpler way to get there?
So, so I think the number, my initial idea was to have it be parsed into a string array, and then we can take the length of that string array to represent. That's the how many digits are numbered.
Well, it's not necessarily. Is it? Because like, well, like here, 49 has 4 digits, so it's like 2.
Oh, no, I mean 49 will have
two
two
digits.
digits.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then when we take care of the number, the decimal number, we always start with the largest number, then go to the
Okay.
smallest number.
Yeah.
And we
Cool.
just append.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Let's start simple though. So you said that, hey, just for, actually, it does the same thing apply to 5? Because let's do 5, 6, 7, 8. Because I think 6, 7 is II. And 6, 5. And 7 is stuff. Because I think there's something similar with these, right? Maybe not so much with the digits, but
these are all single-digit numbers.
right.
Yeah. So then I think the simple answer here is just pass it into that switch case that we have here. We build a case for 1 through 9.
Well, here's what I'm thinking though, because isn't 6 return V? Well, actually, it's return Roman numeral of 5 concatenated with Roman numeral of 1. Because like, is there a way to do this recursively?
There is there's probably a mnemonic way of like, so we've already calculated 1 and 5. Yeah, I know where you're going.
Right, yeah.
So we've already calculated 1, we've calculated 5, and then it's 5 plus 1 to make 6.
Right, yeah.
And so maybe a number that's divisible by 6, we can easily
Okay.
call something. I see where you're going with that.
Yeah,
but
because like the naive way to implement this then would be, 7, 8, and then have this be 2, 3. That's gonna for 7. Sorry, that was the one from down below, not all of them. Okay, I'm gonna, these ones that we have to work yet, I'm just gonna quickly disable. It's a good test, but it's,
this is 2 operations, this is a 1 operation. Because now we have to call Roman
yeah,
numerals.
I'm not super worried about that. I mean, I don't think this needs to be super performant or anything. But let's see what this gives us. Okay, cool. That all works. So, okay. I think I see. You see an opportunity for factor. What if we did? Oops.
So
this
any
works.
number above.
Well, and then this ends up being number minus 5. Is that it? Yeah. I'm just wondering if there's a pattern here, right? Where like this is how you get the VII, and the same thing for like 13, right? Which would be XII, and there's sort of a pattern there. And then do this recursively. Yeah. And I'm also saying the same thing for like 4 and 9, like IV and IX. Let's do that too. Yeah, but I think that only applies when it is one yeah, right. So like one fewer than the next letter.
Right.
Interesting. Okay, cool. What the time was that left here? 14 seconds. Okay, because now I'm thinking ahead. Now, all this code looks kind of wacky. Case statements, am I right? Yeah, it's like, yeah, I bet we can turn that all into a statement. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So I guess the next one would be 9. Yeah, go ahead.
And this was an idea from just kind of jumping off what David was talking about. Is, we take that number and try to divide it by the cases.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like 400 to 90, the 900s, and then all the way down to like 9. Or it's a 4 of the 9s.
4 of the 9s.
Yeah. Is it different to the 900, 400?
And then in which case, what do you do? Okay, no, yeah. Right. Yeah. This is, and actually, this one's turned out to be a little more, way more interesting than I thought. I thought it was going to be super straightforward, but I guess it's not. Maybe I just haven't thought that much about rules. Excellent. Thanks. Okay, well, cool. That's our time. What do you think? Yeah. Yeah. What's it like looking over my shoulder? Looking at the code? Does this work?
I like
Should we see what's the thing?
I like this. It's
Okay,
like, yeah,
cool.
just very dynamic.
I think I'm gonna pull the table over to it. Let's do it this time. Okay.
I think
Yeah.
the difficulty is like having, if you have like different programmers working at the same time, have different ideas. Then it's like a tug of war.
Yeah, and I felt a little bit. And I hope I didn't overstep by sort of saying,
No.
"But wait, I see something." Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, this is a wacky one. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, nice. Any other observations? Did I overstep? Did I be too dominant? Move. I don't know. I kind of felt that way. Okay, get through 5. Okay, I'll commit that and push that up. Let's see here. Nice. Okay. Anybody else volunteer? Like Daniel, anyone come to this number 1? No? Okay. Well, hey, do we want another round, or are you ready to do some pairing on your own? Come on up. Okay, so yeah, explore this a little bit more. Cool. Okay, we'll do this for another round or two. But yeah, this is really interesting.
So I think you're right. You should make a separate function,
Yep.
a separate recursive function. But instead of having each individual case, you just have specific cases that apply to the numerals. So we'll treat I as its own numeral, IV is its own numeral, IX is its own numeral, X is its own numeral. So we have cases for all of those. And if the target number subtracted by that number is greater than 0, we append it to a string.
Okay, cool. So yeah, let me write some tests here for 9 and 10. Think that'll be good to check this out, to try this out. So for 9 is IX, and for 10 it's X. Okay. Oops, that's a test piece thing. 9 is IX, 10 is here. Okay, so then let's do a case.
So yeah, I guess that's a good idea. So for the cases, let's just implement case 1,
Okay.
4, 5, 9, 10, 40, 50, 90.
Well, okay, let's stop at 10. Okay, so let's see here. So no case 2, no case 3?
No, we don't need it.
Okay. So then
So we could remove.
okay, yep. And then we want 4.
I want 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
And then if we're making 9, we need an IX.
Case 9, return IX. Okay. And then we need 10 also.
We also need 10.
Okay. Case 10. X. Okay, and so then what about the other ones?
Then so we're gonna go up to 100. Is there what
Well, like, how do we implement like 2 and 3? And so if I run the test right now, there'll be a whole bunch of ones that fail.
Yeah, so we should have a recursive function,
So call itself.
but not for. We should have a. How do you do it? With this, if we have number, then we'd also want to take in an empty string though. because we're appending, or I guess if we have a static string.
Yeah,
variable,
sort of like to
either
start
way.
with.
Because yeah, we need a starting empty string.
Okay.
So we'll start
Oh,
with the
I
empty
see.
string.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Um,
Okay, and so then this is okay, but it's still recursive. Yep, fair enough.
and then we want to say,
So we'll have a string builder, which will be which is what we'll append to, and then we will say, we'll call Roman numeral passive string number, and then we'll make what's a user return. So no, we can call that, and we'll say return string method to string. Okay, now we're gonna need new. Actually, this is void. It's numeral. So I mean, so like what I'm doing here is, and we can take a string builder, and then take the number. Right? Yeah. So okay. So now, and here, well, we don't want to return. We want to append I, right?
yes.
Okay. So then it has to be without append.
And we also want to, in that step, subtract that value from the target number. So we update the target number as it goes around. So
Well, but if it's 1, this is kind of the terminal limit, do you think?
yeah,
What
so
would
the
we subtract? Yeah.
end condition will
Oh, or
be
is it 0?
0.
Fine, fine. Okay, you do. Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, so then, okay, and then we recurse with -1. So we say
Yeah.
Roman numeral SB and then number -1.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what is this? The result number -1 is always 0. Well, that is true.
So then I guess you're right. You're saying that.
Yeah, I mean this does end up being terminal.
But so the number, so we don't want the number. So
Oh, we
the
don't.
number. So we're saying the number. We want to get the number, the largest number that is able to fit in to the number. So like you're going through a series of case statements, right? And you're saying if number minus.
So is it, yeah, should these
So
be
if-
ifs instead of case
I think
statements?
ifs make more sense. So it'd be like.
Save me, IntelliJ. Ah, so
Oh
much
my
better. I know, right?
It's a miracle.
We're not the first person that sort of needed to say, yeah, okay. Nice. Okay, so now if, okay, so now, so now we want to say what? If number is
So we want it actually to be
less than 4?
inverse order. So we want to try the highest numbers first.
Okay. So in this case, the highest number is 10?
Yeah.
Okay, well, and so like the number equals 10 or is it greater than 10? Greater than 10. Okay, yeah, what was the equal to 10?
If number minus 10 is greater than 0, so
Okay.
then yeah, if number is greater than
Okay.
10. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
I had to think that through.
The number is greater than, I think, okay, so greater than 10, then what do we want to append?
X.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh, you're totally right.
Okay, and then we have number minus 10. See where we're going with this, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so then, great, and so we'll bottom out with number equal to 0. Okay, nice. Okay, so if greater equal to 10, we'll have x. Oh,
No.
much more time?
Sure.
Okay, let's do it. I want to, let's do it. So then we're done. Go on, all right. Okay, so this is good. So number equals 10, that. So then if number equals, okay, then we
9.
find, well,
Because we just need,
oh, you're right, 9 is another, yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
we just need 10, 9, 5, 4, 1.
okay. Number equals 9.
Yeah.
And then SB dot and IX. And then we're done. don't need to reverse. We don't need to do this, right? And then, okay, and then 5? Well, okay, so we're greater than 5.
So that is a greater, yeah.
So we're greater than or equal to 5. Okay. Woo! You know, I think it's way easier to understand. We're just all going to print it out. So here we're going to do SB. Oops, I'm not going to turn anything here. We're just going to say SB.10 B, and then we're going to do the numeral of SB and the number minus 5. Nice, okay. And then now we're going to do 4. You think we're 4?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. So we're going with this. Nice. IV. And then if number, okay, so now what we do?
Now we just need greater than or equal to 1.
Okay. Yeah, number greater than 1. And then we're going to append I and reverse.
And then we want a stopping condition. Well, I guess it won't meet the criteria of 1, so it'll just naturally.
Well, and then we need to do number minus 1, right?
Yeah.
And then
I'm gonna hit
I think
number.
that's it. Right, because it's 0, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if this works. Keeping the suspense about it. What? Oh, algorithms for the win. Okay, nice. Interesting. Okay.
So now I think we just have to add those spaces for
Wow.
40,
Good.
50, 90, 100.
Well, like, what does 20 look like then? I guess it's just, oh, I guess that would work, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because it just won't meet the 40 or 50.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm curious and I just want to try it, and then we'll do that. But that's X, and do. Wow. Okay. Nice. Well, sweet. That's a pretty good. Yeah. So it looks like we have everything through 50, right? So then 50,
Yeah.
right?
40 would break because you have the Excel or whatever.
Good points. Let's see. It's 40. Yeah.
Anything above 39 would break. But 39 should work.
Well, so like, what is 39 then? So that is
I think 39
X, IX.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know how the Romans do it.
Right? Like chiseling the tablet.
Yeah, it's like, thank you to the Arabic world for giving us some reasonable, well, to us, seem very reasonable numbers. Okay, wow, okay, this is cool. Lots of good stuff.
40
Okay,
should break.
okay, yeah, so let's break 40 then. That's 40 then.
You don't have or X. Is it X? Or XL?
Oh, XL, sorry, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, this is interesting.
Yeah, I like the recursive part of it. It passed. So.
Yeah, that can't be right. Oh, I have a disabled. Oh, I don't have a test. Oopsie, I forgot to add test. Oh, how many of these? Wait a second. Oh no. Well, no wonder everything's passing.
Right? It's like, oh,
this is why you have to watch it red, right? Because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I screwed it up. Nice. Okay.
Oh, hopefully it's
Uh-oh. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Okay. Let's try them all and see how it goes. Okay, yeah, 40 breaks, but the rest of them, let's not show ignored. Let's not show passing. Yeah. Okay. So only the 40. Wow. Okay. Excellent. Well. Okay. Shoot. And so that's the 50 case, right? We'll do that first.
Yeah.
Number greater than 50. Oh, actually, no. Wait. We need 40 to be This is an equals 40, like it's an equals 9.
So yeah, we'll have 40 below the 50.
Okay, so we'll do, well, we don't have to test for 50 though.
Oh,
So
okay.
40, then, since we have and then let's do that. So, and let's see here. It's bracket form, okay. Thanks.
And then we just have to make sure you call the function again to the 40. Right?
I don't think so. Because
Oh,
like we don't
'cause you're saying it
recurse on
equals-
these.
oh, you're
yeah,
totally right.
right, yeah.
Yeah, good call.
So yeah, okay. Nice. Okay. Well, I think we.
I think it's.
I think it's good. We think we
yeah,
understand it.
under reasonable
Nice.
conditions.
Got yeah. Other numbers work. Okay. So numbers up to 49 working. Yeah. Cool. Neat. Actually, would 49 work? No.
49 should work if we have.
No,
Oh no, we
it's
don't
not
have
gonna work.
50 yet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. Well, we know what to do now. Sweet. Nice. Well, hey, well, okay, that worked pretty well. So, okay, good. I'm surprised. I am surprised. That's awesome. We got it working. Oh, hey, what is this? Oh, this like tells me as recursive. Nice. So cool. Wow. Okay. Thanks. So, what do you think?
It's fun. I like I don't use recursion a lot, so it's cool using.
Yeah, for me, where it's like I was thinking about how like 7, 6, 7, and 8 are like so similar.
Yeah.
So like, okay, well, it's like 5 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. It's like, oh, is that recursion? But this is a way better solution. But it got us there. Thanks. Okay, right on.
Cool.
Yay! Okay. Cool. Okay. Well, I think that's enough. That's enough for the operating theater. So, any other observations people would like to share tonight about the operating theater before we move on? Nope. Okay. Okay. Well, now what probably everybody's been waiting for, an opportunity to go off in rooms and prepare for yourself. But I don't know. Do we need a break, or are you all ready to go in? I don't know how engaged, what kind of engaging people have been over the last couple of minutes. You want to ready for a break? Let's take 5. That's at 7. Come back at 7:10, and then we'll do some pairing. In the meantime, make sure that your IntelliJ is up to date and that you've got lots of diamond rooms to go into. Okay, just did some operating theater, and so now it's your turn to pair. So let's see here. Tonight's kata is, we did Roman numerals. It's called Diamond. So this is a super simple one. The program takes a letter. Sorry, well, it takes a letter, and it creates a diamond where the center line of the diamond is that letter, and starts at A. So the top and the bottom points, vertices are A, and it makes basically for C. It goes ABC, and then it's, back to A. So then let's see here. This, I guess, is So this might be a good problem to do some test-driven development on, and I don't know. I'll be curious to see what people think about it. And I think, unlike last time, I want to spend some time having pairs show off their code. I think we've got some more time to do that, so I'm more curious to have us see what kind of different solutions people came up with. So let's see here. We've got 4 or 5 people here in the room, and you can. Oh, okay, sorry. I'm just like not with it tonight. So what we're gonna do next is let me post this in the chat. What we'll do next is go into breakout rooms, and let's see here. We've got 9 participants, so I will create. Let's see here. I will create 6 breakout rooms. So if more people show up or come back, they can. I will let people choose the rooms they want to be in. So please go into a breakout room. People here in class, okay, sorry. So you'll go into a breakout room, and based on your breakout room, you will choose a project in the Diamond class. I created 20 of them, having no idea how many people would show up. If you are here in the room, please choose a room greater than 10, 10 or greater. Otherwise, if you are remote, you get room 1 through 6. In each diamond, it's the same kind of, sorry, in each project, it's the same kind of thing that we've seen before. We've got a main program, and each room has their own, and there's an associated test with it. There's also an integration test. If you want to do stuff, we could write this as a main. That might be a better way to test it. I'm not sure. It's all up to you. So yeah, go find your room. Make sure after we've gotten to your room, after you've introduced yourselves, please make sure that each of you can contribute to the repository by editing the POM and putting in your name, and then committing it and pushing it to GitHub. That'll make sure that you are fully enabled to do a Pomodoro. And I do encourage you all to work in Pomodoro. I think some of the feedback that we heard is that people would like to do that, but didn't necessarily have the discipline to set a timer and then rotate roles. Everybody know what to do? I think it looks like everybody's all set here. Any questions from Zoom?
I was gonna say that I actually have to take off a little early, so maybe I wouldn't start working with somebody, not to leave somebody hanging. But unless you think that, I mean, I could, so I'll be around for another 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, let's do 45 minutes, but yeah, please work with your partner, and your partner is welcome to join another room. Actually,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to make sure that people can do it, or maybe I'll partner with them. I don't know, we'll figure it out.
Sounds good.
Thanks for letting us know, and yeah, definitely let your partner know. Okay. Oh man. You can solve it together. All right, okay, excellent. Okay, I'll open rooms, and I'll also check in the room just to make sure everybody has what they have, what they need. But I've got the wrong output. Let's see, HDMI. Okay. Well, hey everybody, let's reconvene. It was great. I was going into the breakout room, certainly here in the classroom. There's all sorts of excitement. People are really getting into this kata. Gave me some extra time to make more progress, but I really want to take some time to reflect and have the groups and the pairs show up, guys. Guys, time out. We're done. And have everybody share what they learned. And tonight, I'd like to take the time, since there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs. I'd like you to show off your solution. You've had a nice long time to work on it, and I'm guessing that maybe unlike last time's kata, there's a variety of ways of implementing it. And so then I'd like to, I'll just call on each of the rooms, and if people here in the classroom, if one of you could join the Zoom, and then we can figure out how to get the audio to work. Maybe just come up here and walk through it next to my microphone, because I want to hear how everybody's doing. But let's start with room 2. So Deepika and Kaushambi.
Yeah. Hi. Okay. So Deepika has the latest code. I don't think we got the time to commit it. Deepika, could you share your screen?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
Nice. Let me go to full screen over here. So
Okay.
Yeah, so you wanna go explain it?
Okay, yeah, I guess, sure. So our code, I don't know, we just started the brute force way. We thought it would be simpler to divide the problem into 2 halves, just printing the first half of the diamond and then printing the lower half of the diamond. So our code really does look very, very big, but I don't know. We could do it in a better way probably, but yeah, so what it does is it just Deepika, could you just scroll up, and so it just starts so we have a small utility method there, which accepts a character, so a char C there, and then it returns the string, the whole pattern as a string. So that's our utility method. And what we do is for each and every line, we see how many spaces do we have to add before the character, then print the character. Do we need to add spaces in between? Do we need to add the character again and then the spaces at the end? So we have, yeah, and then we just have the logic for how many spaces to add is dependent on the Unicode or the ASCII code here, actually, the ASCII code of the character. And yeah, it's something like that. So it's just that kind of logic here. And our loop also depends on the ASCII characters value. So that's how it is. But we were able to get the pattern running, I think. Yeah, we okay. So I don't know.
I'm just doing the last part.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
We were planning to add it to the integration test, but we just couldn't.
Yeah,
in that
but our
time.
pattern,
That's
yeah,
it.
the patterns, yeah, we were able to build the pattern. So we wrote the unit tests, and I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I can add a printout here, println, maybe to show the diamond that we created, that we had already.
Yeah, line 41 and not 49, actually.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Control Z.
Yeah. So just okay. Okay, and then just add, that's all. Yeah. So just run
probably we can run for C or D, maybe better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Looking diamond.
Yep. Looks like a diamond.
Nice, excellent. Well, tell us about the experience. So, boy, you two seem to get along really well, and but like, you know, what did you learn? Have you paired with each other before, or are you friends? Have you worked with each other? Like, what was the experience like?
I guess I could go first. I don't know. I mean, we just introduced ourselves, and we were like, okay, cool. Both of us wanted to get straight to the problem, so we started discussing it. That what exactly is this diamond pattern? Yeah, so that was, I guess our trains of thought, like, they were very similar. I would say that really added to the fact that we were able to achieve so much in the pair programming session. I would say that. Yeah, and we were kind of like talking out loud, talking about the logic that we wanted to add, and critiquing ourselves. So I guess that was helpful, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
I think, we have never paired before, but then, like she said, the tuning was so good in the beginning, and then it just continued throughout the program. And I like one thing about her, that she suggested to start directly before getting into the coding part. Let's just, get into the way how we can do this thing. Then she suggested some nice ways to like build a pattern, and then we literally got into like coding it, and then test by test we could build the logic. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with what we came up with. Yeah.
Excellent. Congratulations. Hey, let's hear that. Well, everybody's clapping at home, I guess.
Yeah.
React. Excellent.
Yeah,
thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for sharing first. Let's go to our
No
next
problem.
breakout
I'll
room.
stop
That was room 3. Matthew and Shepadi.
Hello, I think I'll talk.
Sure.
I'll share my screen.
Please do.
Can you see that?
Not quite yet, and there it is.
So we used a pretty similar method. I would say one thing we did differently was we converted it to we normalized the number. So instead of just having an ASCII value, we subtracted A from it, so that we got like 1 for A, 2 for B, 3 for C, to make it a little simpler. I decided to make it base 1, which was a terrible idea. It caused lots of problems later on. But anyway, and then we did a very similar looking here, except I think it looks a little nicer since we converted it into 2 numbers. Other than that, we're pretty much identical, I would say, except we also used a builder to string. We did not get to actually making the main function take in the variable, though, or take an input from the user.
Awesome. So tell me about the experience. I think you had 3 people in your room at one point. What was that like?
I think 3 people may be too much, but I don't know. we also did get a lot done, so it may have been helpful. But I think also it did lead to sometimes people wouldn't talk for a while because it was hard to get in a word in edgewise when everyone's talking.
Right.
So when I joined this group, then already Devon and Methu was haven't started working, just a discussing, and then I joined the group. So first I was looking them coding and discussing. When Devon left, then I started coding, and I get to learn from Methu because I was not getting how to build this structure, and he explained me very well, and that helped me understanding.
Great. Excellent. That's a great observation.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, cool.
Thank
So let's see. You got lots of tests that are passing. Awesome. What was it like doing test-driven development for you? Or well, actually, what was it like? Did the test help in this kata?
Yeah, I think the tests help a lot because usually you'd be like running it over and over again, giving different inputs. And for testing, I felt like this was a lot cleaner way to do that. And we're doing the same thing over and over again. I think we probably wrote too many tests for our conversion thing, but we know it works.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Cool. Okay, good deal. Hey, congratulations all. Please clap. Okay. Let's see here. And our final remote room 4 with John and Jonathan. Wacky morning radio show.
I think John will share his screen, but I think just to start off, we had a really odd issue actually. We were trying to do the verify clean in the very beginning, and I don't even know what it was. John, can you recall what the issue was?
Oh, it was saying something along the lines of it couldn't find the Maven project buildable or something along those lines. Ended up resolving it, but that took a bit of our time.
But to kind of start with the brainstorming, I think that was probably the most challenging thing to go about it, because me and him had very, very different ideas of approaching it. And then once we kind of resolved to finding one resolution of at least figuring this out, we kind of start to brainstorm a little bit more on how to develop it.
So tell me how that resolution happened. How did you work it out? And what are some of the takeaways that you had from that approach?
At least for me, it was just more like kind of just being open to a different view, and just not necessarily making compromises, but understanding that, my way of thinking isn't the same as someone else's, but also someone else's way of thinking might force yourself to kind of think about a problem differently that honestly builds a better, understanding of the problem as a whole.
Excellent. Cool. Well, is there anything about your solution you'd like to highlight? Comparing and contrasting other solutions we've seen, or anything else you'd like us to know?
At some point, after a lot of turbulence figuring out which direction to go with it, because it was kind of confusing at first, we came to the realization that we could just build half of it and then store the strings in an array list and then print it out in reverse order.
Smart. I like that. That's cool. Right on. Well, excellent. Good deal. And let's see here. Looks like you got a couple of tests over there. Nice. Well, anything else you'd like to tell us?
Nothing comes to mind, at least not for me.
Oh, nice going. Okay, now let's have some report outs in the class. Now, this is always fun because we'd like to get your microphones working. So, but there's always the chance of feedback. So, who wants to go first? How about you guys? Yeah, report out first. So you're on David. You're on the Zoom. Okay. So let's see here. I'm going to mute my microphone. And can you turn on? Oops. I don't know, can you hear him speak?
I'm on now.
Okay.
It's kind of echoey.
Well, turn off your, can you mute your, not your mic, but your speakers.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I muted my.
You would mute on that side.
Sure, yeah, I can turn on.
I think that works.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I'll share my screen. Okay. Where is this side? Yeah. It's not loading. There we go. Tool windows. Okay, so we didn't finish ours, but we're using a. Oh, it didn't update for some reason. Let's see. I'm going to try doing a git pull again.
Hold on. I mean,
Daniel's doing another push. You can have the other people go first. Or...
Okay, if you want, can the other team in the back, are you on the Zoom? Okay. Sorry. Let's see the code. Let's see how you share your code. You can get on the Zoom.
okay, no, do.
Cool.
So David, can you mute your mic?
Yeah, we might be ready.
Oh, okay, maybe they're already.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Okay, how you guys go first then?
Okay, yeah, so we decided that we wanted to do it recursively because it seemed like putting the spacing onto a stack made sense, because like you increase the stack to a certain condition is met, and then when you unwind the stack, you just do it in reverse. The diamond's really just two triangles reversed on top of each other. So yeah, we have this print letter diamond recursive function. And our stopping condition is when the midpoint minus the line number is 0. So the midpoint is you have, we first find the number of spaces total that you need for the middle of the diamond. And so you can view the diamond as a box, as a square containing diamonds. So the width and the height are going to be the same. And so when it gets to that midpoint, the line number is going to be the same as the middle letter point. So that's when we stop our recursion. We print the middle one, and then it should still need to fix some errors, but should print the other part. So yeah, that's what we did.
Nice, wow, that's a different approach. How'd that? Okay, so what was your experience working with each other? I think you paired last week also.
Yep.
It's definitely a push and pull, because
Yeah.
I would have an idea and you'd have a great idea, and we just either figure out how to blend those, or one idea we just let one or the other just take over.
I think too,
Yeah.
with this approach, it was hard to divide like the work, I guess, or
Yeah. But like the initial, like trying to figure out, well, how are we going to figure out the width of the lines? It was like, oh, just cast it, like use the ASCII value, subtract the ASCII integers, and then set a line width. And then like I didn't know where to go from there. So then, you had like that creative juice in the moment, and it really helped push instead of me just being like stuck for like 10 minutes, so that kind of back and forth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that helped. And then Daniel found some cool formatting stuff.
That's cool formatting stuff. I saw.
Yeah.
Some examples there.
So
we're going to use this
Oh.
message formatter.
So we're using a nested message formatter and a string formatter.
Yeah.
So pretty much with these two bracket args, the 0 and the 1 were going to be the variable space widths for both the start of the space and the middle space. And so we specify those parameters within the message formatter. And then on the outside of it, so the message formatter returns the string, and then it looks for these percent variables. So then based on that, then we have the print letter twice. So prints letter with variable spacing.
Cool. Nice. Okay.
Say that one more time.
Want to share?
I think we did a lot of development without testing. And then what we like when we did try to start testing after the fact that we developed, then we realized, oh, it wasn't like we weren't getting the result we wanted.
Somehow it felt like we did a lot of work, but got very little done.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Like, I don't know what felt like we were running in place almost.
Excellent. Excellent. Cool. Thank you so much for sharing. That's really great.
Okay. On the formatting piece. I think it's pretty close to getting.
Or just leave the Zoom. So here, Leo, did I see you join? Okay. Could you share your screen and enable your microphone? You can have the speaker on too. Nope, haven't. Restart Zoom. Okay. Well, actually, in the meantime, then, while you're doing that, I will. So I had a solution also, and actually, it looks a lot like. Actually, let me share my screen. Sorry, it looks a lot like some of yours. So, yeah, a professional Java programmer. Yeah. So I did mine test driven, and actually that helped me a lot. I had like a bug where I didn't have the right number of spaces in between there, and it didn't show up until I created tests for like C and D. But then I got to E, I'm like, well, everything seems to work. And so then my solution is basically I go from A to the middle car and print out this row, and then from the car before the middle car down to A and print out the row. And so actually it was pretty straightforward, all things considered. So I'm happy with the solution. It seems kind of minimal. Maybe I could clean up some of the string buffer append or string bells are appending and stuff, but that's how I solved it. Leo, how's it looking?
Hi.
Excellent. Sound good.
Coming through?
Yep.
Okay, so we have 3 of us here. So we end up following a lot of the Pomodoro steps. So we kept switching drivers and navigators and end up with a lot of bugs.
Oh.
So we didn't have enough time to come up with the actual algorithm, the actual loops, and then we kept adding to the bug. instead of like,
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
so I guess having too many heads might not be as good as it seems.
Yeah, tell me more about the nature of the bugs that happened during the handoff, because that's interesting.
I can explain it.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what I tried to do was basically just create a string builder, and this level is just how many, it's basically a tracker of which alphabetical character is using ASCII. And
Mhm.
then we start it from there. And then we have this base case in the for loop, which prints all the rows, which appends to our string builder, the middle row, and then this little space calculator. And then the thing that kind of broke is I wanted it to do the same thing and then append. Basically, for all the other rows, since there's two of them, it would append one and insert one at the start.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, but
Oh.
I think this is as close as we got. And it's, I don't know, it looks kind of like it's going somewhere, but there's definitely something wrong in there.
Yeah, what I found is that it's sort of like it looks ugly and then it just all falls into place. So nice. Well, cool. Good learning. So say more about what it's like working in a pair of three.
What do you think?
So we had like a tablet thing, we like wrote stuff down, but I feel like for some of the things we all three of us had all different, but we all kind of liked it, our own approach. And so then when we'd switch drivers, sometimes we would kind of switch paths,
Oh, interesting.
and that wasn't great for us. Because we would try one path and it didn't work, so we switched drivers, like, okay, let's try your idea. And so then we just completely switched paths, and so that was not great for finishing the project.
Oh, but great learning, right? And I think something that you can reflect on in your reflection, if you haven't done it yet, is like, yeah, how different it is when there are three people. And actually, I'm glad that you're getting to experience that, because in a couple of weeks we'll be doing ensemble programming, where it's like 5 people all sitting, all working on the same problem, and that'll be really interesting. Excellent. Well, good deal. No, this is great. So, hey, all of you, looks like you learned a lot, got some good experiences, and did some good pair programming. Thank you so much. Okay. Well, okay. There's only one thing left in class, and that is to talk about the assignment that gets assigned this week. So let me share. Actually, sorry, I'm not doing that. Okay, so, oops, no, that's the project. So, the next phase of your project is kind of like project 2, in that now you're storing your airline not just in a text file of a format that you're choosing, but in an XML file that conforms to what's called a document type description, a DTD. And what this will allow you to do is, well, first of all, get experience with XML, but now you'll all be sharing the same format for your airlines, which means that you'll be able to share them, or everybody's airlines will be persisted similarly. You can use and you can use what's called the DOM API in XML, the document object model, to take your Java objects and turn them into XML. So a couple of things that you'll need to implement for your airline application. By the way, we're still working in that same project that we have for 1, 2, and 3, same Maven project. You can use built-in APIs with the Java development kit that are all there for doing XML. That you'll be implementing a new kind of airline dumper. This is an XML dumper. So it's like your text dumper, but it dumps as XML. Implements the same interface, the airline dumper interface. And let's see here. I think I have, actually, I'll take a look at them. I'll show you them in a moment. There are some classes for getting started with this, because there's some, some bootstrapping things in terms of like getting the DTD right and everything that I want to give you a head start with. Yep, I'll come back to that. So there's an airline dumper, there's an XML dumper that will dump an XML representation of the airline. There's an XML parser that will take that XML representation, a file, and then create an airline from it. And then there is there are two main classes actually. There's a class called converter that will convert a representation of an airline from a text file to an XML file. And by the way, this should be a really easy thing to do. If you find yourself writing like 100 lines of code, that's too much. You should be able to leverage the tools that you've already built to do that really easily. And that will convert a text file to an XML file. And then there's also a project 4, which is your main, which ought to look familiar now. It is the same arguments that we've had. The dates and times are in the project 3 format. And it's got the same options, including a new one, which is -XML file. Works just like the text file, right? This is where we should read and write the airline info to as XML. And note that it's an error to specify both text file and XML file. Your program either works with text files or it works with XML files, but not at the same time. That's why we have the converter. Error conditions, all the usual stuff from the first 3 projects. The command line is missing something, or the date format's wrong. Also, it's important to make sure that XML file conforms the document type definition to the DTD. You'll learn about it in the lecture. It basically specifies the format of the XML file, and if you have XML that is not conformant, you should issue a friendly error message. Oh, and also, just like in project 3, if the 3-letter airport code doesn't correspond to a known airport. Oh, okay, and there's a note about the JAXB API. So, in all honesty, the APIs that you're using are kind of dated, kind of almost antiquated. Although there's really good lessons that you can learn by using the SAX API or the DOM API. This was covered in the lecture. There are newer APIs for generating XML, something called JAXB. And they use annotations and things like that. You can use them if you want. I'm trying to think if I don't know if I've had any students use them recently. So if you really want to try something different or experimental that may or may not work out, try JAXB. But otherwise, we know that the DOM API will work. But it's important that the XML that is generated conforms to the DTD, and so then maybe that's not super easy to do with JAXB. But anyway, this is a common question that I get. There's usually one student every term that sort of Googles, how do I do XML? And they're like, use this JAXB thing. It's like, well, it's not exactly. It may or may not work. But anyway, if you want to give it a try, let me know how it goes. And so let's take a look at some of the code that comes with this. I think I have. Yeah, here is my here's my repository for the winter, and I think some of you may have seen this already when you created your airline. There in test, there is let's see here, airline XML helper test. Right. So what this does is it reads a test resource, which is an XML file. So here we have valid airline XML. So let's just take a look at that. So this is what XML looks like. Please read the or watch the lecture. But as you can see, it's got a representation of an airline, and it's got a flight and a destination, all that good stuff. And what that test does is that it this shows you how to use the some of the DOM APIs, and it makes sure that the okay, so it uses the airline XML helper so that it will get the document type definition correct. This is basically a very simple class that leverages this project XML helper class that I wrote that basically makes sure that it handles all of this loading of the DTD, which is a little technical, a little wonky, and not really what I want you to be focusing on here. But instead, I want you to sort of learn about what the document builder factory interface methods are, or class is all about, and basically how and making sure that you can parse valid XML. That's essentially what this does. And then really what you need to do then is take the result of this parse method, which is this document object, and then from that create an airline. That's essentially what your XML parser needs to do. And here also, this just validates that an invalid airline XML file, which is, oh, it even complains about it. It looks like it's, yep, it's missing the time element, so it is invalid. This test makes sure that when you parse it and validate it against the document type definition, that yes, indeed, you get a parse exception. So, again, this is just sort of giving you an idea of some of the things that you can do with the DOM API and how to do them. The rest is really up to you. So this is a little bit of code to get you started, and then you go from there. That's project 4. It is due in 3 weeks, because between now and then you've got project 3 due, and you've got the cones due, plus you've got the reflection on the pair programming. That's all due. So this is this one you get a little bit longer time on. Any questions about this? Nope. Okay. That's everything I got for tonight. Oh, sorry, that question?
Yeah, for the date, are we like now
Oh, I'm sorry.
changing
People in the room can't hear you. Wait a second. Let me fix that here. Okay, say again, please.
Yeah, so I don't remember if project 3 we considered the date and time object as already as not strings.
Internally, yeah, they are represented as dates starting in project 3, and that's the same here in project 4. You don't need to change that.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
And actually, that'll help you quite a bit, I think, to create the XML that is expected.
Yeah, that's why looking at the XML, I had the doubt. So yeah. Okay.
Yes. Anything else? Okay, well, that's everything for tonight. Thanks. I hope you had a good time pairing. We'll have another opportunity next week, but I was looking at the schedule, and I think I want to introduce Project 5 next week, because that's big and different. So we're not going to do another operating theater thing. Instead, we'll get a brief introduction to Project 5, even though you really won't have to start it for another couple of weeks, because boy, in like what, not the week after that, but week after that, they'll be doing mob programming. I'm really excited to hear what your experiences are like with that. Anyway, have a great week, everybody. Stay warm, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.